In this part, we'll be looking at comparison operators in Python. So let's get straight to it and see what are the different operators which can be used for comparison. So in Python, we mainly use 6 comparison operators, and these 6 comparison operators are used in different situations depending on what is required, what decisions need to be made, what needs to be compared, and so on. So what are those 6? The first one is equal to, which stands for equality. So you're checking between two things. The second and third basically check for whether the left side is greater than the right side or the left side is less than equal to the right side. Similarly, the fourth and fifth one signify greater than and less than. And the last one is used to check whether two things are not equal to each other. So the symbol for not equal to is the exclamation mark followed by the equal to symbol. Now, let's see how we can use some of these comparison operators with numbers and strings. So let's start off with something very simple. So let's say we have a number 10 and then we have another number 20, and we want to check or use all of these operators between these two numbers. So if I want to check whether 10 is equal to 20, then I can put the double equal to comparison operator in between the numbers, and I can run that, and it tells me that 10 is not equal to 20, hence it returns false. Similarly, I can check whether 10 is greater than equal to 20, and that would return false as well because 10 is not greater than equal to 20. If I do a less than equal to 20, in that case it would return true because 10 is a smaller number, 20 is larger than 10. Similarly, I can check whether 10 is not equal to 20, and that will also return true because 10 and 20 are not the same numbers. So on the other hand, if I put 20 not equal to 20, you will notice that you get a result false because both these numbers are now equal. Now, the question is, can I do the same thing with strings, and can I do the same thing between numbers and strings? So let's try to use these comparison operators in those conditions as well. You can check for two strings to be the same. So let's say I type my name down here. You can check for whether two strings are the same or not, and it would ideally tell you that yes, these two strings are the same. If I change this to be smaller a, notice that it says both are not equal, meaning that it is sensitive to how the string is made up. So in this case, you have a capital A, you have a small a, hence both of these are not equal to each other. You can also check for whether two strings are greater or less than each other. And how this works is by converting each of those letters into its equivalent ASCII numbers. So A, for example, has an ASCII value of 65. Small a, for example, has an ASCII value of 97. So if you add up all the ASCII values in this string versus this string, then you will notice that this is less. So that is how it does the comparison for greater than, less than, and so on. You can also do this between strings and numbers. So let's say we have a string which is my name again, and you want to compare this with a number. You can compare it with a number, and it will tell you that a string is not equal to that number. So this is pretty straightforward, and you can use all the other comparison operators similar to how we did in this case. The only things which you cannot use are, let's say, the greater than or the less than operation. Why? Because now in this case, it is not converting this to its equivalent ASCII value, but it is taking it as a whole string. So it's basically saying that I cannot check whether a string is less than a number or not. And that's one of those cases which needs to be avoided. You can still go and do the not only or not equal to 5, and that would give you a result as true because Aditya is not equal to 5. You can do the same thing by storing the values in variables. So if I give you a small example, let's say num1 equal to 10, num2 equal to 20, then I can check for a comparison between num1 and num2, and that will essentially return me whether 10 is less than 20 or not. So storing in variables and comparing the variables is equivalent to what we did above, where we're directly comparing the values. So these are, some of the simple comparison operators which are used in Python for decision making, to check different conditions, which we will look at in one of the other parts. If you have any queries on this video, my email address is in the description. Please do write into me and I'll help you clear your queries. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel and enjoy other such videos in the data science series.